fast. Yo, welcome everybody to a Mythic Society weekly Wednesday event. Right now, it's a little scuffed because Melee is having some problems, but we are going to battle here. This is not the deck list we're playing. Close. This is going to be another test of Lurrus. So far, Lurrus testing has gone fairly poorly. It doesn't really seem to be worth it as a companion, so we're trying to play Lurrus in the main deck. This is a spin on a modern deck that I've seen. Emery, Lurrus, Urza deck. I think the idea of having a bunch of Soul Guide Lanterns in your deck is really cool. Rebuying Baubles and Lanterns with Emery and Lurrus, and then having a secondary attacking plan with Urza. You also get to mill over cool things like Time Vault Key. You can do a Tinker Citadel. So it has some powerful cards in it. I'm not sure if this deck is built super well. I have a very small amount of lands, a lot of artifacts that are very vulnerable, but overall, I think could be good. We'll have to see tonight. We've got a nice matchup round one where we've been paired against Dredge, and we have 3 main deck Soul Guide Lanterns, so that we have a shot. This hand, I don't actually think I'm supposed to keep this hand. It is not a turn 1 Emery, doesn't have a Soul Guide Lantern, so I'm just gonna go next hand. This one does have a Demonic for a Soul Guide Lantern, so I think I'm down. I'm just going to end up pitching the Force of Will, because it's, well, I could technically pitch the Pearl and hope that I draw a blue card to protect my Soul Guide Lantern. I have 1, 2, 3 mana, black mana. Yeah, I guess it's fine. I guess we can try. It would be really nice. It's a little bit of a greedy line, I think, but we're going to try it. So obviously Dave kept a 7-card Bizarre hand, which is going to be challenged to beat. But we can make it work. Let me do record text, and this is not the Lotus Box Octagon Finals. This is Mythic Society Weekly 00. Yep, can't do anything about that. Hopefully they don't have 2. 2 would be bad. 1 is pretty, first we're gonna deal with the cards in their yard, then we have to deal with the hollow one, but it's beatable. It's beatable. So I'm gonna go Petal, Bauble. I didn't actually look if there were Mindbreak Traps in their main deck. Let me go quickly look, I guess. There are 2 Mindbreak Traps in the main deck, so we are kind of running into a problem with this, but it's too late. I think it is in fact too late. Do we have enough mana to cast Force of Will? 3, 5? No, I have enough to hard cast Force of Will, and that is it. I wonder if I can even do anything that would be beneficial for this. No, I don't think so. I'm gonna just go. I could not sacrifice this Petal. I could have fetched, but then I would have still had to do it to play the Soul Guide. I think going for a Soul Guide Lantern here is the best play. It's going to help, make their draw really. It's going to weaken their speed, and then we should be able to find action later. This could just get forced, and we didn't obviously draw a blue card, so it's a problem for sure. And now we just have very little stuff going on here. I could have held this Bauble and used my fetch land later, but it's just probably not going to go well. Opponent kept a 7-card Dredge hand that had a hollow one, a Dredger, a Force of Will, an Icarid, a Prized Amalgam. So it's like, it's going to be very hard to beat without Counterspell backup, and I just did not have Counterspell backup, so we don't actually get much better post board because I only have 1 Tormod script in my sideboard. The idea is I have 3 Soul Guide Lanterns in the main, so it should have been good game 1, but I just can't beat a 7-card Dredge hand. Especially a 7-card dredge hand that is as good as this one with Force, Dredger, Hollow One, Icarid, Double Amalgam, Double Therapy. I'm just super dead. Like, theoretically, I think you should probably therapy off of your Hollow One and take my Urza after this whiffs. Or this hits Force. Just because I have nothing going on for me. I am 100% on and draw Ancestral, right? Maybe I was actually supposed to keep the Pearl instead of the Sapphire so that I would have access to double white for Lurrus. I didn't think about that. That was probably true, actually. I probably should have kept the Pearl instead of the Sapphire on my mulligan. That's the kind of things you learn when you play a deck for the first time. Theoretically, Tolarian Academy should make all the blue mana we need. We don't really need a Sapphire, but... All right, now he's decided... Okay, they chose not to take the Urza, which seems a little greedy. Only one Dredger. If I hit a Mox in here and jam an Urza, it might not... I mean, it's pretty good. It might not be good enough, but... It would be super sad if I draw a Lurrus and can't cast it because of this Pearl choice. Oh, they have Force of Vigor on my upkeep. Hilarious. I guess I'm going to force this so I can draw Tinker. Yes, Dredge. Great deck. I did draw the Lurrus. It was not going to be good enough there, but lesson learned on choosing our mana sources a little wiser. We get to bring in a Tormod's Crypt, which is quite good. And then... Don't actually think we're going to do much else. And we were already kind of pre-boarded for this matchup. I guess theoretically we can board this in for zombies. But I don't really like that. Maybe a Seal of Cleansing for a Hollow One is pretty reasonable. Or Ley Lines. Maybe we want double Seal of Cleansing. Maybe that's the play. And then I'm just going to take out... Probe. Force. Actually, I could probably take out one of these Emeries, because my Emery should stick around. This makes me very low on blue cards for Force, but I think that's okay. I don't really like fighting over spells with Force of Will in this matchup anyways. Yeah, you just came to watch Dredge beat my 3 main deck Soul Guide Lanterns very easily. The old 7-card Dredge hand featuring Force of Vigor, Force of Will, Dredger, Hollow One, Icarid, Cabal Therapy. And it was not remotely close. But maybe we can get them in games 2 and 3. We didn't keep a stellar hand on our mulligan, so... this hand has a Soul Guide Lantern. It's a mulligan to 6, but I mean, I would keep this 6, so... I don't believe that I will play out the Soul Guide Lantern on this turn. I think the ability to hit a Dredger with it is pretty strong. And I'm not, enabling anything by playing it out, and so... Unfortunately, we're super weak to a Hollow One draw. They also kept another 7-card Dredge hand. But this time they only have 1 Shambling Shell. So. A second Soul Guide Lantern. Not bad. The problem with this kind of hand is this would beat Dredge if this was Dredge of X years ago. But this is some 2021 Dredge. We got Hollow Ones to worry about. I'm gonna fetch a... I really don't want to get Wastelanded, but I think I still need to go for... So unfortunately, I actually can't protect this one with Flusterstorm because I don't have the mana I need, but... Oh, for sure. Dredge got a lot more resilient when it got Hollow One as a plan B to built into its deck. I was talking about it on stream the other night, is that every deck should be having multiple plan Bs or plan Cs when their main avenue of powerful threats is cut off. So if your deck is weak to Null Rod, you can have some kind of backup plan. Your deck is weak to Graveyard Hate, have some kind of backup plan that doesn't get hit by the Graveyard Hate. That kind of thing. 2 Soul Guide Lanterns might be enough to stem the bleeding here. It does seem like that is the case. And thankfully, we do have a Flusterstorm for their next piece of interaction, whether it be Force of Vigor. They have double Bazaar. God, we would be so dead. This could definitely kill through my Soul Guide Lantern, by the way. I have to make sure I use this well. I definitely wish I still had my first Soul Guide Lantern. Maybe I could have forced... But... Demonic Tutor. That's a good draw. I could Demonic for Lotus for my Citadel. I don't know if that's correct, though. If I have to use this Lantern next turn, which I probably will, I guess I will have exactly enough mana. It's an option. It's not a bad option. Cat is not a good choice, I don't think, because I do think I'm going to use the Citadel on this turn. This Lantern on this turn, and I will lose my Metalcraft on my Mox Opal. In fact, I probably should have tapped this Mox Opal to play Demonic Tutor. And left open... this is susceptible to Wasteland. These are susceptible to Force of Vigor, so it goes a little bit both ways. I think I'm going to take the Lotus. I actually think it makes sense, which is kind of cool. I do think that if opponent does make me burn this Lantern, I will probably get to resolve Citadel, which is probably going to be good enough. The Lurrus and Yogwill both have the same problem, that if I use this Lantern, I lose Metalcraft. Just natural Dredge here. That's interesting. I guess if they hit an Archimedes, I would probably have to crack, so... A problem with Citadel is I can't Fluster back up, but I have Force backup, so I feel like there's sandbagging of Vigor, maybe. Maybe they dredged the green green Dredger so they can cast a Vigor on this turn. That would be a problem. Urza, beautiful. I think playing an Urza is worse than playing a Citadel. Though I have Flusterstorm backup. I just can't really afford to use my Lotus for Urza, I don't believe. So I'm just going to go no Flusterstorm backup Citadel. I might actually even pitch. They did have Force. Thankfully, I am walking into Mindbreak Trap. I think I'm going to pitch the Urza because I don't suspect that I'll have the mana. Mindbreak Trap. They can draw for Mindbreak Trap as well. Yeah, they're drawing for Mindbreak Trap, folks. See what happens. Did not find it. That's really good for us. Yeah. Now I am liking the place we are in life. Now we're playing Emery Control. I don't know what this tutors, but probably something good. Time Walk? Probably gives me the most options. Yeah, before Hollow 1, your deck was a lot worse. You're making the point. Hmm. Anyways, I think we'll just run it back then. So that was a pretty good display of Soul Guide Lantern. So no Lurrus to be found. If we lose our heads up match versus Bazaar with 3 main deck Soul Guide Lanterns, I'm gonna be very sad. This is pretty good though. We draw Moxen, we have Lurrus double crypts, so. And this is the power of a Lurrus in the main deck with a Demonic Tutor deck. Kept a 6-carder this time. I would not fight over a Hollow 1. I kind of need to protect my play. Especially because my play is super weak to Mindbreak Trap. As are most of my plays, I guess. I didn't even look at their sideboard. Yeah, there's 6 ley lines. Chalice on 0. Well, that's a card we have to counter. No Dredger. Oh, wow. We're very lucky that that one that went our way. Because I think we would have had a very hard time if it had not. Ooh, combo. No Dredger means I kind of don't even want to play this Tormod script. Obviously, they can draw 2 on their upkeep and find a Dredger and dredge for their turn. I think I'm willing to risk that. Is there any reason that I would want to draw a card on their turn? I guess the one of Flusterstorm, maybe? Let's do that. Obviously, I can get Therapied. Monastery Mentor. I definitely do not want to draw that. I guess I can crack now. I'm just going to fetch double... No, I'm going to fetch a Tundra. That's what I'm going to do. Yeah, so this is a little bit of a risk, obviously, holding this thing, but I want them to use this card disadvantage now. The worst thing that could happen is they draw into Golgari Grave Troll and then dredge into, like, Narcomoeba Prize Amalgam. It could definitely go poorly. It's a risky play, but I think the way my hand is currently set up, it's something I'm interested in doing. This way, I can lead on Tormod's Crypt next turn. If they force it, I can go Demonic Lotus Lurrus Crypt, which would be very nice. Let's see what 3 cards they pitch here. And a cool thing is that they can't have probes, so they can't double dredges. So I guess if they have second Bazaar, we're going to look very silly. That is something that maybe we should have played around. I guess they can Icarid Therapy the Crypt. Yeah, maybe. Okay, they discarded Bazaar, so that means they have 3 Bazaars, but they didn't hit a Dredger. Okay, I'm starting to suspect... wow. They're going to Noxious Revival Chalice of the Void. I'm starting to suspect that I should have played this Mana Crypt, or this Tormod's Crypt, and I'm just a buffoon. Yeah, I guess I am, in fact, just a buffoon. Second, Bazaar of Baghdad Chalice? No, okay. So they discarded a Bazaar so that they could get this Chalice back. Very interesting. The good thing is that we have 1 Tormod's Crypt and a multitude of lanterns. Yeah, no, I look very silly. I do, in fact, look extremely silly. What am I going to do, chat? Should I get a land? Should I just get Ancestral? Should I just get Seal of Cleansing? Should I get Soul Guide Lantern? I think that they're going to probably go for dredgers, so we shouldn't have to worry about counters. I think seal makes sense. And I don't think they'll... Well, they could therapy seal. It's a play they could make. Currently, no way to bring back this Icarid unless they activate an upkeep. They chose not to activate an upkeep. They are now choosing to activate so they can hit a hollow one, possibly. I wonder if they would go therapy if they hit a hollow one. Pitching... Oh, hit the hollow one. Would you therapy away this hollow one, chap? If the answer is no, you got a problem. I mean, it's not really a problem. It's a choice that you could make, and it's a pretty reasonable choice as well. Yeah, so we're going to kill this Chalice. And we're going to play the Tormod's Crypt in the Opal. But I don't think I'm going to do anything else. I would really like to hit Metalcraft, play Urzas and Lurruses. I'm going to take some hits from this hollow one, but that is kind of the price you pay. I cannot play Emery because I do not have Metalcraft. They did not hit a black creature, so I don't even care about that. I'm looking for a Moxen on this next draw step. That would be ideal. We would pretty much seal up the game, I think. Sure. That works. Who's the graveyard deck now? Okay. All right, I played that game poorly, though. On hindsight, we probably should have played our Tormod's Crypt. A slight mistake was made, I would believe. 3 mana cards are broken, confirmed. 3 mana card greater than 0 mana card. It's just how it is. It do be like that. Let's do the recording now. Okay, so round 2 of the Mythic Society Weekly Vintage event. My opponent this time is on a sweet one. My opponent is playing Burgi Storm, but the workshop version of Burgi. So Mishra's Workshop, Forbidden Orchard for Oaths in the sideboard, Artifact Mana Base and a Burning Wish. I guess we'll call it Burning Burgi. That's what I called it on my videos on YouTube. So this is just a sweet, sweet list. It looks like somewhere between Matt's last list, my last list, and maybe one of my original Oath versions. Very cool list. If you're interested in seeing this list from my perspective, you can check it out on YouTube, actually. I think we put a couple of videos up with it. My hand in this is fine. I have an Opal to turn on Academy. I can play Brainstorms and stuff. I think this is fine. I think a Force of Will is pretty important as well. Worth noting. The other thing worth noting is opponent does play a bunch of defense grids, which are very good against my deck. I don't think I'm going to counter the top. I would rather counter a Burgi or a Horn. The number of threats in my opponent's deck is fairly low. So if you can kind of let these engine cards go and counter their threats, in my mind. Top is a powerful engine card, though, so I wouldn't fault anybody for forcing it. I think it's a reasonable choice you could make. Though typically it is fairly hard to activate top without a little extra help because you have, like Workshop, but they did have a Sapphire, so. All right, that's a good draw. That's a good draw. So I can go... It's not a great draw, but it's a good draw. I think the plan here is to establish as much Tolarian Academy mana as possible on this turn, which would be Opal, Academy, and then Soul Guide Lantern. That way next turn I have 2 mana. I can play 1 mana Emery, maybe Time Walk or something like that. Okay, they have a Spire as well. So if they cast like a Burgi or a Horn here, I will definitely just snap off a Force on that. Looks like it'll be a Horn. I'm going to force pitching this Brainstorm, as I would rather have Emery plus Time Walk. I don't know if that's true. It might be true. Maybe Brainstorm into Emery is actually a really powerful play, though. I might actually reconsider that. Maybe I'll pitch this Time Walk. That way I can start with a Brainstorm and Emery away the cards that I don't want. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I feel like it's actually fairly close. It's unlikely I will be able to shuffle with the Brainstorm, but I can always hit him away with the Emery, which is nice. Opponent has a pretty solid hand, though. If they have a follow-up Bergie, things get very dicey. Yeah, so I think that's the play I'm going to make here. Brainstorm. So I'm going to pitch the... I am going to pitch Vampiric. No, maybe I'm going to pitch... If I hit with my 2 other cards an artifact, then I can play this Vamp on the next turn. But missing a land drop does seem a little sus. So maybe it should just be Island Vampiric, and then I could even fetch away the other cards. I do think I want to keep Urza Force as another counterspell for a second Horn. So I'm just looking at these 3 cards, and would I rather have a Vampiric with no way to cast it, or a fetch land? And I probably would fetch away Island Vampiric so that my Emery hit better cards. The good thing about fetch land is it also lets me sack Soul Guide to draw a card this turn, which is probably something I would do. All right, I've convinced myself that I'm going to go like this, 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 and...
The Cat in the Hat comes back?
Wow. I hit 4 artifacts. Yeah, the hat and the cat and everything is back. Now I may choose to leave the Soul Guide Lantern. Well, let's see. 2 mana, 1 mana, 3 mana. I feel like I'm actually supposed to draw with the Soul Guide Lantern. I'm gonna draw with the Soul Guide Lantern. Interesting draw. An interesting draw. This does mean I don't have Metalcraft, so maybe that was a shit play. We'll have to see, I guess. This seemed greedy, and maybe it was bad. This is a little bit of a learning stream as well, I guess. Eventually, we can return this Citadel with our Emery. Seems pretty feasible, actually. I was just very stressed about making sure that I kept Force of Will for a second powerful spell. Like, if opponent plays a Paradox Engine or a Horn here, I really need to be able to counter it. But if I can get an Urza in play, be pretty okay with that as well. That's a great draw. That's such a solid draw. Now we're off to the races. So we play a Bauble. We return an Emerald. We play a Lurrus. We return a Bauble or a Soul Guide Lantern, and we're just going off. We're doing the thing. I think we'll return the Emerald. Return the Bauble. Black. Maybe we actually can play this Urza this turn. Hold on. Play a Lurrus. Play a Bauble. Play an Urza? Is that greedy? That's too greedy. I think that's too greedy. Well, I draw 2 cards. Wait, I should look. If I look at my top card, right? Top card. Is it a blue card? It's a Black Lotus. Okay. I don't think I'm allowed to bank on my next card. I think if I just hold Open Forest and I have an active Lurrus, it should be fine. Though they could draw a Defense Grid into a spell, I guess. I was waiting till after they spinned to look at their card. They could obviously just spin again or something, but I do think I want to draw this card in case my second card is a blue card that I can save my Urza. They're drawing an opal. They're choosing to draw an opal. I have infinity manas. I actually can bowl a Citadel very easily next turn. These are a match made in heaven, huh? Even if I cast Force pitching Urza, I can return a Citadel. Yeah, I'm so glad I kept this Urza in my hand. Holy shit. That would have been a problem. I guess I can attack it. I have 4 power. Yeah, this is very much my kind of deck. It's a little there's a lot of artifacts in it, so it's kind of dangerous. Girl is so no. Let's do the cool play. Let's do the cool play. Black Lotus, Citadel, cast. Let's draw through this. Yogwill was cheating. I didn't want to use Yogwill. So I might have to if I get stopped here. Hi. You thought I would be stopped. Wrong. What should I vamp for, chat? Should we just get Time Walk? I think the answer is just Time Walk. Maybe the answer is Demonic Tutor, because then I can Yogwill and Demonic Tutor or something. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. We did successfully use Emery to cast Bolas' Citadel, which I consider a win for everyone. All right, so we're playing against the Burgies. We're gonna want some Force of Negations, probably this Engineered Explosives, probably this Mystic Remoras, these Seal of Cleansings, these Hercules Recalls. That's a lot of Magic the Gathering cards. Is that truly what I want to be doing? It's kind of lit though, isn't it? I guess we would just take out a bunch of these. We can just cut WinCon, right? We don't need that. They could Oath us. I guess we brought in Seals for that. So I guess we can just trim on some of the other Lurrus cards, maybe? I don't really know. I'm not really sure how I'm going to ever board down 10 cards here. Chipotle. Should get Chipotle. I don't really think that's a question. Maybe I could just take out these win cons, right? I don't need these win cons. Like this? I'll just play control. Is Hercules Recall good, Matt? I'm not sure that it is. Kind of doesn't feel like it should be. I kind of want... whatever. Let's try it. I have no idea. I boarded in a lot of Magic the Gathering cards, though, and they all seem really good against my opponent's deck. This is a hand that I would elect to keep, yes. Thank you. Would play again. I almost can hardcast this Force. If I drew a Tolarian, maybe. Or just an Opal, I guess. I probably want to play this Emery, though, on turn 1. I guess we don't have a lot going for us if we have to force something on turn 1, but... They kept a 7. Workshop hand? I'll have to find out. Workshop hand. Defense grid. Key. Resolves. Opal. Resolves. Lotus resolves. Defense grid time walk, defense grid time vault, kill me? Not much I can do about that. That would be the higher roll. The much higher roll. Yikes. Red mana, play an opal. Alright, you have 2 cards left. Burning Wish, I assume? Okay. Twisty? We do the twist? I have to counter it, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. Yes, this is my life, Super Cow. Literally, that is... Have I been to Anna's? I don't know. Anna's. All right, no Wheel of Fortune for you. I like my hand. Thank you. That's a good one. Sure. They have a Grim Monolith on the top of their deck. Noted. Lurrus. I mean, they could still just play a Time Vault next turn and I die. So it's not over, but I don't know why I need to look at my top card. It's kind of irrelevant. I actually have no counter magic here, so and we know they're drawing a Grim Monolith, but if they go like Grim Monolith Karn? Alright, they didn't have anything. Which is bad for them. That's very good for me, though. Oh, yes. That, let me tell you, that one was a good one for me. Can I actually spin this turn? 1, 2, 3, 4. No. Is it better to have a card or a permanent? Better have a card. Let's see what they have. They're drawing a defense grid. Don't care about that very much. I drew a Tinker? I feel gross. It just doesn't feel right. It feels ew. Well, that actually just bricked. All right, so if I replay this Mana Crypt, costs me 3 mana to cast this off the top. And I think that's fine. I could spin. I guess I could spin. Am I supposed to, though? What am I going to lose to if I just pass? Nothing. I lose to nothing. I'm on. Screw that. We're trying to play tight Magic the Gathering, Mr. Matt Murray. This costs 3 mana and 1 life. Or 3 life. Oh, I'm just going to attack because I don't really, I'm done. All right, well, that went really well. Though I did have a very nice sideboard plan for this deck, coincidentally. I coincidentally had a quite a strong sideboard plan. Okay, all right. Round 3, Mythic Society Weekly. We're 2-0 with our sweet Urza Lurrus deck. We're now playing against Kyle, who's got a nice looking 4-color Deathrite Shaman deck. So you got that's a lot of Planeswalkers. How many Planeswalkers is that? That is 12 Planeswalkers, 4 Deathrite Shamans, and a pile of counterspells. Some Vigors and Leylines in the board. 4 Leyline in the board. Definitely going to bring in some Seals. But yeah, let's do the battling. This hand's lit. Snap Keep. Turn 1 Urza with Force Backup. 20 lands, but I mean, 4 of your lands are Wastelands and Strip Mines, so it's like really 16 lands, right? Yeah, this hand is... Oh, you just love to see it. It's just beautiful. It's just beautiful. Now, I can get Dazed here if they do play Dazed in their deck, which they don't. That would be a correct... I would agree with your analysis, Blue Man 7. So, good job. Companion cost is a lot. So yeah, I made a 4/4 on turn 1, and you played a Deathrite Shaman. Who is ahead now? I mean, pre me playing Leagues, I would have said it could have been a contestable take, but after having played a couple matches with Lurrus as a companion, I would definitely agree with you. Dak Fade in my construct? That would be a decent play. I think I would pitch this Emery. We didn't play Emery? No, we played the Urza on turn 1. What? I'm pretty sure I'm spinning next turn. This looks like Oko. The cool part about this Oko, I guess I don't exactly kill it. I think I'm still supposed to force it. Maybe I will just pitch the Urza so that we can play the Emery next turn. Oh, yeah, we should have played the Emery. It's been a while, chat. It's been a while. It actually has been quite a while. Yes, we should have definitely played the Emery. Good call. No one in chat caught it. I don't know what happened. You guys were sleeping. You're supposed to be my competitive advantage. I've been told very specifically that you guys are my competitive advantage. now that I haven't played the Emery, am I supposed to pitch it? I kind of think I am. Maybe I like what I did. Maybe what I did was fine. It was something that I was thinking about, Blue Man. It's not a complete scam, but like having multiple contracts in play is going to kill my opponent. So I don't... I'm whitelisted tonight. Oh, I should actually... They have 2 negations in their deck. But they can just hard cast it on their turn, so... Okay. We're going off. Oh, yeah, their deck is... Yeah, it's... Oh. Should I just make 3 constructs? I don't think so. I can do a bunch of spinning, too. It's probably just worse. Yo, I love Urza. Yeah, you know what? That Emery play? Calculated, chat. Completely calculated. I didn't want to mill over all of these good blue cards. Okay. Yeah, my deck is lit, by the way. Maybe we will play this for the challenge. It's so much fun. Okay, so we're playing, we want to bring in these seals because opponent's going to bring in some ley lines, and we don't need to bring in seals for ley lines. But we might want to. Actually, opponent is on 4 Vigor, 4 ley line, 2 Pyroblast, which is annoying, 3 Lightning Bolt, and 1 Flux. I literally registered the wrong deck, chat. Oh! How can we fix this? Shit. Oh, hold on. I gotta go talk to tournament admins. What this deck is? What, 2 cards off? What did I cut from the main? A mentor? I might have to just concede the round. I'm not really 100% sure. I hate this part of it. Let me sideboard. Let me, at the very least, take out the cards that I wasn't supposed to register. And then I'm going to go talk to Goblin or someone. Let me just find the cards I'm supposed to board in. It's so stupid. I hate that part of this, but it's, you know, it is what it is. I actually think these lanterns look really good here. I wonder if you're supposed to keep in forces. This or something. What did I cut? Hercules? So my main deck was only 1 card different. So it was Mentor instead of Krakus instead of Mentor, and I didn't draw it. Gonna have to see if I need to like boot out of this game or what. Not 100% sure what they're gonna do, but this is most of the time I catch this before the match starts, but this time I did not. I really wish it's kind of my fault because it is kind of big on the right hand side before I start the game, but I really wish I could like double check or I don't know. It just doesn't feel like I know what deck I'm signing up with a lot of the time. It happens to me like in leagues a lot as well. Okay. I have lost game 1. That is not the fix I expected, but okay. I don't know, but I don't really care, to be perfectly honest. So if that's what they want to do, then sure. Kind of a weird fix, but all right, I need to make sure I thought I selected this list, right? So this was the last list I was looking at before we started our match. But when I go here, it doesn't change to my selected list. Stupid software. Sure. All right. Well, we lost game 1, so now we gotta win. We gotta win 3-0. How do I concede game? Concede game. Kind of awkward. Okay, so actually, Mentor looks pretty good in this matchup. Shit. Well, I want this island, and I want these Seal of Cleansing, is what we decided. And I was gonna trim on, Emery and Bobble, I guess. Actually, I'm gonna trim on Vault Key. This is fine. All right, so can we win 3 straight games in this set? Maybe I'm supposed to be bringing in Mythic or Mora too. I have so many good cards here. What am I supposed to do? Oh, too late. Whoops. I kind of didn't really want Mystic Remora or Force of Negation for this kind of matchup, so it's a little weird. All right, let's try again. It's a good hand. The reason is because you can bring it back with Lurrus. Yeah, I mean, I had planned to bring in Remora and Negation versus a different set of decks, but maybe we could have done it here. I just like didn't board it in was the question. Just doesn't keep a force hand. Okay. I milled an Opal, a Tinker. Yikes. Well, at least I can have another Emery to fill my yard up. If they go for Deathray Shaman here, I mean, Deathray Shaman doesn't hit the artifacts, which is nice. But I don't really feel super far ahead, even though I had a really strong turn 1. At least I didn't get waste. I mean, I don't think I care that much if I get wastelanded. That's a pretty good draw. I think what I'm gonna just do is play an Emery. Keep this Emery. Try to hit something good. Okay, so we hit a Bobble, a Pearl, and a Bolus's Citadel. I actually can cast this Bolus's Citadel next turn if I get a Pearl now. No, I can't do that because I have to use my Opal to get the second black mana. So I think I'm just gonna get a Bobble. Try to get some card advantage going here. The Seal of Cleansing is pretty useless against my opponent, but I might still want to just play it out while I have the mana, or do I want to not take 3 damage? I also expose myself to Vigor, which is annoying, but it does give me... This does give me 2 blue sources in case they waste one, so I think that's fine. Don't think I'm going to play out the Seal. Preordain. Huh. Yeah, so I can play the Citadel if I draw a fetch land. Oh, you have an Ancestral. Well, I'm going to definitely counter this, I think. It's one of the best ways of using my Fluster, so... Though now I'm very susceptible to opponent literally sneezing on me. Yeah, I wish I had Remora. I wish I had brought in Remora, but maybe if we get to game 3. Yeah, it's not bad. Now I have almost all my Emery's gone. Lost a flip. Hopefully they don't have a Pyroblast. They don't have a Pyroblast, we're in good shape, I think. They have a Pyroblast or a Force, we're pretty dead. Yeah, they had a Force. This is unfortunate. Maybe bringing in Seal is a bit ambitious. I don't know. I do wish this was any other Magic the Gathering card, though. Yeah, it's a little rough to have to win 3 straight games, but I did this to myself. I actually reminded myself to switch back my deck list. And I thought I did by selecting it, but that's not how Magic the Gathering Online works, I guess. If they go for an Oko here, they're gonna go for a Dak. Yeah, Dak Steal My Sapphire is pretty heartbreaking. Yeah, this game is real sadness. But, what's up, Fire Shoes? But, so sad. I think I'm just going to cycle this because it's so bad for me. Okay, well, now I need to hit another land or Moxen. Okay. Bauble or Lantern? Probably Bauble. Though I'm kind of thinking that I don't want to lose Metalcraft. Let me look at what my top card is. Delta. I'm just gonna get Lantern, I think. I can't really stop a delve unless I were to use this lantern. I don't think it's going to be good. Cat's been good tonight in the main deck. Been pretty strong. Wasteland. If they put a Wasteland... I don't think I'm supposed to hit their graveyard. I think the Mox and Opal being turned on is too important. Oko? What a nightmare. Yeah, this is too sad. This is too sad. Oh boy. Okay. That's an interesting one, isn't it? Unfortunately, I have to lose my elk to do this, but... Back down. Think it's worth it to just get the extra draw in. I guess first we can just float and draw with this. See what happens first. Well, now I have to get Bauble back. Guess it's still fine though. Maybe I need to play a Seal of Cleansing first. Kind of unfortunate series of events here. I draw an Urza, could be good. I don't know. This Oko is going to be really hard for my fair deck to beat. That's the real problem, though. Opponent hit just enough, really. They didn't even draw off their Ancestral, right? I countered the Ancestral. Phew. They drew another thing that they can... I guess I can attack, so it's fine. Yep. So if I draw this now, if I play this now, doesn't really change anything. They're drawing one other Wasteland. Okay. So they have to plus my Lurrus again. If I can draw... I don't really have more removal spells in my deck. Maybe I was supposed to bring back a Seal. Could I have done that? I don't think I had the mana to bring back a Seal. Because if I brought back a Seal, then I actually probably could have killed this Lurrus by killing their next... killed this Oko by killing their next target. Now I have to hit like a removal spell of some kind, which doesn't seem likely. So I can't even play an Urza this turn. I kind of need to draw Ancestral, I guess. This is bad. I don't have removal in my deck because they're an all Planeswalker deck. Yeah, this might be the end of the road here. It's what happens when you don't play a Pyroblast deck. A fair creature deck with no Pyroblast in it? Blasphemy. I'm gonna crack this. I can hit a Yogwell. If I hit a Yogwell, I probably win. Yeah, this is why I don't cut Yogwell, Matt. It's just times like these. Didn't draw the Yogwell. Do have Hardcast Force for a second, though. Am I supposed to attack with this Lurrus? I mean, I don't really want them attacking me, so I am at 11 because of my mana crypt. I have draws. I've got draws. I've got outs. They just drew a Mystic Sanctuary or Brainstorm. I guess that's fine. Thankfully, my Soul Guide Lantern hit their Ancestral Recall. Oh, they didn't even go for it. What are they going for then? Another DAC. Wow. Hopefully they don't have last card Pyroblast. Why did I say that? Of course they have last card Pyroblast. Unreal. I just can't ever win. I just can't ever win. All right, I can draw Yogwill. I can draw Yogwill. Take my mana crypt, please. Ancestral Yogwill, please? They took my mana crypt? Wild. Well, they correctly took my mana crypt, so I couldn't play my Urza. That's kind of sus. No. Yeah, it's very over. It's too bad we can't play game 3. I would definitely board in Remora. Even if I play an Urza, they can still Oko my Urza, steal my construct. It's just not very good. So this card doesn't really do anything. I very much needed to draw Yogwill, which I could have drawn. They pitched an Energy Flux. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I could still draw Urza this turn, Yogwill this turn, and might be viable. Probe. Yeah. All right, now we're dead, right? Well, technically, I can still draw a Ancestral into Lotus. Yeah, I will. All right, they got me. Kind of unfortunate. I mean, we manhandled them in game 1, so it wasn't a bad look for our deck. Okay, round 4 of the Mythic Society weekly event. We are playing against Mono White Control, or White Weenie, depending on how you look at it. 4 Path Exile, 4 Lumi, 4 Archon, some one-ofs, Mind Sensor, Jailer, Cleric. Kind of an interesting deck. You also have Arbiters and Relic Warders and Ghost Quarters, so it should be a weird one. That is a hand. Snap off that one. I'm gonna fetch my non-basic so that my Ghost Quarter can find a basic. I am just gonna snap off a force on this. This is why I really like to play Cavern in my Thalia decks. We actually don't even we're not even supposed to go for Ancestral now that we've drawn this Mishra's Bauble. That was a very good turn one. Yeah, but this would have gone so badly if opponent led Cavern Thalia. You know? That's the kind of thing that I don't like about not playing Cavern. We would have had a really hard time in this game. We would have had to go, you know, fetch, Mox, pass. We actually drew blue card Force too, which is nuts. So if opponent went Plains Archon here, we actually have that matched pretty well. Another Thalia. I think I'm letting the Thalia resolve. Nah, who am I kidding? Just counter it. How many black mana do I have? I think I have enough, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Replay it with Lurrus. No land drop used. Oh, we may have gone off there, if I'm not mistaken. I believe this would be considered going off, by the way. A reasonable turn. That's just turn 2, you know? Every deck can do it. Can I do double activate here? Oh, unfortunate. I don't know. I thought about drawing through that, but I didn't really want to lose my permanence. How many do I have now? 1, 2. I should attack first and get some life back. I also have like infinite mana too, right? I can do a bunch of spins as well. Let's just cast another one of these. Let's do some spins. Mentor. Let's draw into Mentor. This just gets Time Walk, and I can cast it off of my keys because I have an Urza in play. I guess I can also get a Time Vault. I have to not die to my Mana Crypt, though. So maybe I should get a Tinker. I can maybe double Citadel as well. But I'll just take an extra turn. It's pretty easy, right? Was that a good turn 2, chat? Would you consider that a strong turn 2? We just hardcast that Citadel with no Black Lotus. Yep. Okay, so we get to bring in Deadweight, Myers Grasp, Engineered Explosives, Island, Balance. Good God, my poor opponent. My poor opponent. I was ready for mono white this week, let me tell you. I was ready for mono white. I think we want Seal for Deafening Silence and Stony Silence. These Soul Guides can go, Fluster can go, Misstep can go. What else? Just cut some of these. Yeah, it was definitely Mana Crypt's fault, I would say. Maybe it was Ancestral's fault. It definitely wasn't Cat's fault. All Cat did was rebuy a Bauble and rebuy a Lotus Petal. Like, come on now. I mean, to be fair, Ancestral Recall, drawing blue card Force of Will, or, you know, like having 2 forces and Ancestral Recall was very powerful. It just so happened that all the rest of my cards were also very powerful. But this deck looks legit, right? I mean, we could be like, you know, 4-0 quotation marks tonight. Please don't Lotus Archon me. Please don't Lotus Archon me. Please don't Thalia me. Unlucky. I guess we'll just have to what are we gonna do here? I think if we go Tundra, Ruby, Lotus, what? No, that doesn't work. It might just be supposed to be Tundra, Ruby, Lotus, Lurrus, and not be able to bring back the Lotus yet. I could get pathed, but I think that's a risk we should be taking. I think this is the most sense. They probably left in 4 paths, but if they spend 2 mana on path, I think it's a win for us. Lurrus has looked quite good in this deck. This deck seems to utilize him a little bit better. Yeah, we can't replay the Lotus to play like a Time Walker Emery because of Thalia, but I think it's still correct. If we get like Path to Exiled here, we still get a land and we can do like Emerys and Time Walks next turn. So, ooh, that's a problem. That is brutal. That is actually very, very good for them. They have 1 Caracas in their deck. Yeah, this is the worst possible outcome because they can play like a Luminarch Aspirant now. We might lose this game. This game is definitely slipping away very quick. Oh, wow. We've got destroyed. We needed a Force of Will. If we had a Force of Will, we probably win the game on turn 1, but we didn't have a Force of Will, and they got the Thalia down. And now we are very far behind and very dead, I think. I don't even know what the series of draws are that get me out of this game. I guess if I draw a Sapphire or a fetch land, maybe. Yeah, that went really well for our opponent. Yeah, I didn't think about the one of Caracas. I'm not going to lie to you. Okay, yeah, all right. Well, I didn't think about the one of Caracas. That was a. I mean, Caracas bounces Emery too, so we just can't actually beat Caracas at all, I think, there. All right, well, we died. Yeah, Thalia was just enough. Just enough. Okay, let's try again. I mean, I actually just don't think we can play around Caracas unless we time walked, which is not very good, I think. Interesting hand. I'm gonna keep. It's so close. It's very close. Balance not at its strongest in our deck, as we do play a lot of creatures, but I think it's still a worthwhile inclusion. I've been a big fan of balance recently, especially in these decks that have all these 0-drop artifacts. I have 8. I milled Force of Will, but I also hit a couple artifacts, so that's nice. Grasp, I have a Grasp and a Deadweight, but Deadweight, Grasp is a concession for Archon, yes. That is a correct analysis. So yeah, we have a good shot here. Oh, they have a Moxen. Turn 1. Ooh, turn 1 Archon. I kind of hope it's turn 1 Archon. We have that covered. Bring back Bauble. I think bringing back Bauble is better than bringing back... Maybe I should have not used the Bauble so that I could have just played an Opal next turn and had mana. That was probably bad. I just wanted to... I mean, being able to maybe draw Force of Will is like pretty powerful here. A second Archon is annoying, but we do have a Lurrus. Okay, Thalia. Oh no, they drew the Caracas again. Our deck is so bad against Caracas. Maybe we need something in our deck to... What am I supposed to do? It's a nightmare. How do I beat a Caracas? I can balance away this Thalia, but I'm going to lose a lot of cards in my hand to do so. I mean, we have to... We can't get rid of the Caracas, though. But I think we need to get rid of the Thalia and go for a Tinker anyways, so... I mean... Yeah. I think we're just gonna choose to lose the seal. Keep 2 cards in your hand. I want to keep Tinker, and I'm gonna keep Lurrus, even though they have a Caracas. If I hit a Moxen, I can like maybe play Lurrus and play something out of my yard really fast. I still have Tinker Citadel, so if they don't have a follow-up Archon or Thalia, we're in good shape. Luminarch Aspirant. Not a chance. Not a chance. Okay. That is fast. This clock does grow fast, but I do have a Tinker turn, so that should be good enough. Why does this keep happening? Now I have to think again. I don't think my Yogg is quite good enough right now, so... Citadel. Jet. Opal. Soul Ring. Seal. Jesus Christ. Ruby. Mana Crypt. Underground Sea. EE. Kind of want to cast this on 2 if possible. I don't have anything that cantrips right now, right? I can Yogg-Will an Ancestral. I could just cast it on 0 and rebuy it. Kind of sounds like a lot of fun to me. Wait, I can just pay? That can't be right. Hold on, let's see if I can actually pay mana into it. Well, I don't... It didn't go into it, though. No, I just want to know more about it. It doesn't let me... Oh, I can't undo my mana now. Cancel. Huh. I guess this is just how it's supposed to work then. Cool. There's like no way I can draw one that I found. I was just going to blow up on 0 and then rebuy everything with Yagwell. Don't really need to do that, but kind of want it for fun mostly. I could draw more cards, but I'm kind of over the game, chat. I just want it to die. I just want the game to end. So oh, I can just balance instead. Yeah, it gave me a paying interface with EE off the top for some reason. Not 100% sure why. Should we just balance instead? That sounds like fun. Then I can choose to put the E on any number. I probably just missed lethal somewhere with my Bolus's Citadel as well. I probably actually had lethal Bolus's Citadel as well, but I got I got all techie. Oh well. I'm just kind of bored now. We did the thing. It's no longer the thing is no longer interesting. A plethora of fun things we can do. All right, I'm bored. Let's go to the next. Let's go to the next turn here. Yeah, that went really well, to be perfectly honest. I think we might have gone 4-0 if I didn't accidentally register the wrong deck. Because we won game 1 so handedly versus Deathrite Shaman that if we got to be on the play in game 3, could have done a really good job. This build looks nice. It utilizes Lurrus pretty well. I feel like we would have a very hard time beating a Pyroblast deck, but yeah, I can't beat a Caracas, so clearly we need to do something about that. Maybe we don't. Maybe we just live with the fact that we get wrecked by Caracas. I don't know. Yeah, so that was the whole thing, the whole shabam. Mythic Society Weekly, we technically went 3-1, but we could have easily gone 4-0 without the slight deck reg error. But I mean, we could play a Needle. Needle does have various uses. All right, so this is the deck we played tonight. This is the deck that we were changing it to. Hey, Andy, what do you think about, because I was talking with Matt about it. What do you think about sideboarding a Karn just as a null rod? I don't want to play Karn in the main, and I don't want to build a Karn board, but I think it has applicability as a card in this deck. I've never seen anyone sideboard a Karn the Great Creator, but it kind of seems reasonable, right? I think this looks pretty good. I think it's a little all in. It definitely has a lot of artifacts in it. And Caracas is definitely a weakness. I'm just not sure if I actually want to deal with Caracas. I think putting a Needle is nice and all. I guess a lot of the Wasteland decks I would want a Needle against anyways, so maybe a Needle is just the play. I don't actually think we need a Hercules Recall in our deck. It didn't seem... I don't want to say we don't need a Hercules Recall, but maybe we can just play like more Seals. I don't know. A main deck Needle. That's definitely viable. It's definitely viable. Needle is just a really strong card. I just felt like I didn't have any draw cards in my deck, so I wanted to play just a ton of Lanterns. Because I felt like Lantern hits so many decks too. Like, if you're Lanterning people's Ancestral Recalls and their flashback targets and stuff, it's just so good. But a Needle could totally work. I just didn't know the number of sackable things I needed for my Emery and my Lurrus. No, I just lost my Lurrus. Come back, Lurrus. That's the question mark. I don't know about 4 Urza, but it does give me a nice plan B of attacking. This beats Caracas kind of on its own, right? If my opponent is keeping me at bay with Caracas and I'm making a construct every time, that kind of wins, right? So maybe Caracas isn't too big of a deal as long as we have some Urzas. And I kind of need all of the Urzas and all the Emerys because my blue count is so low for Force of Will. Like I'm at the bare minimum, I think. Let's take a quick look. 19 is like very bare minimum. I actually would agree with Andy that Soul Guide Lantern is typically better than Nihil Spellbomb because of its ETB. Yeah, no, I mean, I think not having a Needle in this deck is probably a little criminal. It is a deck that could have a Needle. A Needle is really good right now. So where does that leave us? That leaves us on blue package, creature package, artifact and hate package here. Needle's a catch-all. I got a couple different artifacts. This is kind of creature hate, and then this is kind of combo hate. This is, I guess, artifact hate, and then this is dredge hate. Yeah, I think Soul Guide Lantern is a super main deckable card, and this deck actually gets to abuse it a little bit, so... Thanks, Weenie. It's okay. This was a good test run. We played against a variety of decks, and then our deck was able to do a lot of cool things. The one thing we didn't play against a lot of was Pyroblast decks, which I could see being an issue, but Lurrus not getting hit by Pyroblast is a big upside, so maybe there's a little bit more game than there used to be for my old school, because I played a lot of different Urza decks in the past 2 years or so. So maybe this has a little bit more game against Pyroblast with the cat. I like this. Maybe I'll play this on Saturday, because this deck is fun. It's very much my wheelhouse and something that I do enjoy. I like it. I'm gonna throw... I don't know. Do I throw it on Twitter? I'm gonna go up on YouTube tomorrow anyways, so... Either way, what's this prelim looking like? Yeah, I mean, this is very much... if you had to pick a Justin deck, this is it. I think Urza's the coolest card. This prelim could fire if people want to play in it. So if anyone wants to play in the prelim, there is a prelim in 15 minutes. I'm most likely not going to play in it just because I have to work again tomorrow morning. So it's a little late start for me. So my plan, chat, is going to be tomorrow night after work. I'm going to do another Lurrus stream. We're going to find another Lurrus deck to check out, try out something. I'm not 100% sure which one we'll choose. We have plenty of different options. But we're definitely going to try to make the most of the unbanning and try out tons of different things. And then on Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern, we will play a challenge with whatever Lurrus deck I find to be the combination of the best and the most fun for me. So it's gonna be if I find that this deck is actually playable, then I might just play this because it is a lot of fun. Personally, you're excited for the Snow Still deck if it happens. I'm not sure if we'll end up doing the Snow Still deck. I don't really vibe with Standstill very much as like Magic the Gathering card, but I do think that Lurrus is definitely an upgrade for the different kind of Standstill decks. I don't know if Snow is the best way to go about it, but I don't think it's a terrible way. I think Lurrus being able to bring back Standstill and Ascendant Spirit is pretty reasonable. So yeah, everyone's trying Lurrus, though. Not all of the Lurrus decks have looked very impressive. My initial thoughts are that it is not very strong as a companion unless it's your plan C, where you are not losing very much for having it, and it's just like an afterthought, like, oh, all my breaches got countered, I play my Lurrus. I don't think you can build a traditional Lurrus deck anymore as a companion. The cost is just too high. 3 mana is too much mana. You can't play like the old you can't play this list basically. This old Killer SUV Esper control list. You can't play this as a companion. It doesn't really work. I mean, it could work because like you are playing a blue pile with Dark Confidants. Like this deck is certainly, it's got Ancestral Recall and Mystic Sanctuary. You can win games of Magic. But if you play it in the main deck, I think it's a little bit stronger. So something like this is probably more approachable. Yeah, I mean those are typically the cards you want to be buying back. You can buy back removal in the form of enchantment auras. You can buy back card advantage in the form of sackable artifacts, and then you can buy back 1 and 2 mana creatures. So those are like your choices. The list we played tonight is choosing to do all artifacts and then have a bunch of enchantment based removal in the board to utilize. And opting not to go for returnable creatures. But this deck is kind of based on a modern archetype, modern Urza, I believe it's called, Whir of Invention. It's very similar, so I tried to use that as a shell, as an idea. You don't have to play like Thopter Sword because you have Time Vault Key, and you also have a bunch of tutors, so it gets it's a little bit more streamlined, which is pretty nice. And being able to play Force of Will, I think, is kind of mandatory, so. Yeah, those are my thoughts. Lurrus is definitely super safe, it looks like, for Vintage. There could end up definitely being main deck Lurrus decks that are good. Lurrus and Breach could definitely end up being good, but I think we don't need to be super scared of the cat taking over the format like it did last time, which is good, which is really good. Yeah, you can play Lurrus as a bug deck, as a companion, or in the main, and maybe at this point you do want to play it in the main as like a 1 or a 2 of or something. Hard to say. You have a lot of choices, and there's a lot of room for deck building because Lurrus is a pretty playable card in a lot of archetypes, but it's also requires a certain amount of deck building to be focused towards it. So. Thank you, YCFSN, for the 9 months Prime sub. I appreciate that. If anyone else wants to, yeah, that's another thing is you don't lose the game right away if a Lurrus resolves. Like if a Lurrus is bringing back a Bauble, you have time to answer that. You can Lightning Bolt it, you can Trophy it, you can Decay it. It's not a game-ending play. It's not a tinker. So I think it feels pretty balanced in that regard. Yeah, so if you enjoyed the stream, make sure you follow and subscribe on YouTube. Both of those are free choices that you can help grow the stream, grow Vintage together with me. If you have a Twitch Prime sub, you can try checking out. Maybe there's a button that says subscribe free on your Twitch screen, and that would help support me in an even more meaningful way, which I always appreciate, but not required, of course. Yeah, so my next stream should be tomorrow night. back here probably around 6 p.m. Eastern or 7 p.m. Eastern. For now, I'm going to try to find a nice place to send you. Ooh, I'm going to send you guys over to Kane. Kane looks like experimenting with the unbannings in Modern. Looks like an Amulet Titan. So I'm going to send you guys over to Sneaky, and hopefully you will continue to watch him and enjoy some sweet Modern content. So until tomorrow night, have a good one.